Hello and welcome to the Cycling Success Podcast. I am here. We have Donna Reid today, and I'm so excited. Now, Donna's from Ottawa. You're gonna have to just say it again because I already forgot. Donna, take it away. Introduce for us your name. Tell us a little about yourself. Where are you coming from?
I'll do that. Hi, folks. I'm Donna Reid. As Marissa said, I live in the lovely capital of Canada, Ottawa, Ontario. I am 53 years old because that matters for this podcast, right? I am definitely in the realm of the athletes that will benefit from this program. And I've been cycling for Oh my gosh. Well, since I was a kid, I guess I got into some more competitive stuff, recreational competitive. I'm not a professional by any means. In my late 20s, where I was doing duathlons, no major
Awesome.
cycling races or crits or anything like that. It was just duathlons. And it's just evolved since then into a bigger passion for me. I really kicked into the real roadie stuff back in, I think it was 2017. We had moved
Oh,
to a condo in downtown Ottawa.
yeah.
And I would look out my window every Saturday morning, and there was a cycling shop right below where we lived. And I'd see all of these people gathering every Saturday morning, and then they'd roll out for a ride.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I want to do that.
Awesome.
I think at that point, my longest ride had maybe been 50K, like. So I went out one morning, showed up wearing probably not quite the right kind of kit you'd expect to join up with a bunch of roadies who really know what they're doing. But they humored me, and the group ride guy looks at me and he goes, "This is a no drop ride, but you have to keep up." So I kind of went, "Okay," and I did, and we went out and did 100K. And
Oh,
I came back
wow.
going, holy crap, I just did 100K. And anyway, from there, I made some friends in that group, and it's just evolved from there.
I love that. Well, that was a big question was like, what were you doing before this year, like 2025, when we started working together? So you joined your first ride was 100K. That's
My
amazing.
first main ride, right? Like
Yeah.
I go out with my husband and we do things or friends, we do 50K and I'm kind of lying. We did one thing with friends that was 150K one weekend and that was a big deal to train for. But it was random. That was a random thing. It was this sort of moment with this group of folks where I kind of went, okay, I want to get into this. I want to do
I
this more
love
often. I love this. I want to learn everything I can about it. And yeah, that's really where it hit me hard.
I love that. Well, then, so what was it about like 2023 or 24 that kind of caused you to decide to reach out to work together in 2025?
Well, it was really a drive to improve myself beyond how I knew I could improve myself, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'll just step back a tiny bit. I won't make this
Yeah.
a long story. I got
Mhm.
into gravel in like 2019. That was
Awesome.
when they said, you should get a gravel bike in this group of friends I would talk to before. I'm like, really? That sounds weird, but okay. So I did. And we progressively did more difficult rides. We did some local events, just some fun stuff. And then in 2021, I signed up for a real event called the Reggie Ramble. It's in Warkworth, Ontario.
Awesome.
Real challenging ride. Yeah, I signed up. I can't remember. It was like 100K thing. I only did one loop of it and I had to stop because it was just
Mhm.
so hard.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to stop trying, so I signed up for a different event in 2022. I did the little version of it. 2023, we decided to do the Vermont Overland. That's a biggie. Did the whole thing. That was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, like a 90K or 55 mile, 2,400 meter, 7,800 feet. Like that was a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, I'm never doing that again. That was insanity. And then 2024, we did Paris-to Ancaster, which is kind of a classic
Yeah.
gravel mud race.
Mud race. Yeah, exactly.
And the Vermont Ranger as well, which wasn't as hard as Overland. So that's
Mhm.
2024.
Yeah.
Got through that. And then we got friends going, what about this Trans Rockies Gravel Royale thing? It's a 3 day stage race in the Rockies. And I'm like, sounds cool. I think I'm going to need help to do this one.
Yes. I
Yeah,
love it. And thus the dream was born.
the dream was born and you were sought out. Yes.
That is amazing. So, well, I guess I would love to hear like what, in the realm of training together, where like what were some highlights? What were some experiences that you look back on this year and think like that was awesome? In terms of training, like we'll talk about the race in a second, but in terms of like working together, like was there a wow factor? Was there something you just like overcame that you didn't know you could do? Like tell me what sticks with you?
My gosh, there's so much, Marissa, honestly. Like yes, big wow factor. You provided so much support to me,
Mhm,
and knowing that you were there, you
mhm,
were actually reviewing my workouts, giving me
mhm,
feedback. I
mhm,
didn't realize how much that would motivate me and
mhm,
how important that was for me to understand how to adapt or do things differently. Or, when I ran into trouble, like I had knee problems at one point, you were helping me with my
mhm,
pedal or my cleat alignment and all of those wonderful things I hadn't even really given much thought to. You were like a partner in my corner the whole time that I gratefully appreciated. And it had a massive impact on keeping me going. And I just felt like a sense of camaraderie between the two of us that
mhm.
is just so invaluable.
Yeah.
Um, but on top of that, for me, it really gave me more resilience
Mhm,
and tenacity to
mhm,
tackle things, right? Like I'm a very determined individual.
mhm.
I set a goal and I will do it. I will do whatever I need to get there. But a lot of the times when I've done these things, I haven't done them as well as I could have, right?
Right, right, almost
Um,
like you're, like, pushing through with strength instead of finessing it perhaps, or
Well, yeah, or feeling really good going through it, right? Or going into it with a little bit of nerves, but still having some confidence, right? And that's what I saw happen with myself this year was having the confidence to keep going even when my nerves flared up. Like I
Mhm,
think I told you early in the season, I don't know, I was in Montreal. We went, my husband and I went on a little road trip. You told me you need to take a break from training, take a week off, go do something. You can ride if you want. So I chose to ride because that's what I like to do. And I
yeah,
remember I'd mentioned that there was a hill in one of these rides. It was in May or something early that I was worrying about. And you put the thought of what's your mantra,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
You talk yourself through it. Your brain can only think about one thing at a time.
mhm,
And from there, I mean, yes, I've had thoughts like that before sometimes when I'm writing, like you can do this, but it really stuck with me. And that's something that I've grabbed on like
yeah,
throughout the rest of the season. Whenever something was tough, I'd be like, you're strong, you're powerful, and you can do this. And I'll be
mhm,
honest, there's usually an expletive in there somewhere, but I won't say that today.
mhm,
Um, yeah, so just that resilience that came out of all of this for me, that I know I'm equipped to push myself now a lot harder than I ever thought I could, which is
yeah,
crazy to say at the age of 53. Like I'm just learning this now, right? Like even yesterday I was at a ride in our Gatineau Park and pushed hard. And usually the moment I start feeling a bit, oh, I'm pushing too hard, I back off a bit. I just
mhm,
kept going. And I'm
yeah,
oof, man, my body does things now I didn't realize it could do. Um,
yeah,
so that was another huge benefit out of all of this. And
that's awesome,
then the knowledge, just the
mhm,
knowledge that I have gotten out of this. I've dabbled in fitness pretty much all my life. I have my
mhm,
personal trainer certification, and I've done stuff for myself and other people off the side years ago.
mhm,
But I think the definition of insanity is keep doing the things you think you know over and over again and think it's going to work and make change for you, but it
mhm,
doesn't. You need to consult professionals to
mhm,
help you get there, right? So I learned so much from you just on, how to work out a little differently, but the big thing is around the
yeah,
recovery and the fueling. That was
mhm,
game changing for me. I would always go, I got to work out 6 days in a row. I got to
yeah,
work out 6 days in a row. And I'd take a day off, usually Fridays, and I'd do nothing. Like
mhm,
no recovery or active recovery, right? Just take the day off. But that's
yeah,
wrong. And I've learned that and I understand it now. And it's amazing the impact it has. And the
yeah,
fueling. You have no idea. Well, you do have an idea, but I had
mhm,
no idea how much of
mhm,
an impact that was. Like, holy
yeah,
crap, that changes everything.
mhm,
So it's just a balance of everything you've taught me and just you packaged it up so nicely. You fed it out to me at a pace that I could digest, right?
okay, yeah,
Um, yeah, I can't say
yeah,
enough.
I love I remember our one of the early rides I don't remember the ride specifically, but I remember that when we were talking about fueling, I was like, "Well, take me through, like, what did you have on the ride today?" I think because you were just like, "Oh, I did the ride, but I kinda hit a wall and I felt kinda bad," or I don't feel fit. And that's like those 2 things that I hear often are, "Oh, I'm working so hard, I don't feel very fit. What's wrong with me?" And I'm all like, well, what was the fueling plan? Take me through what you did. Right. And so that started the journey for us, right? Figuring out the pre-ride snack, the what you're going to eat during the ride. And I felt like it was just like your ears perked up and you're like, let me read some labels. Let me put this in a, you know what I mean? Like, let me segment my sandwich or whatever you were having and making sure that you were getting enough carbs, right? Straight carbs through the ride. And then I swear to you, within 10 days, all of a sudden you're setting more PRs than even before, right? So I think that we get so used to it's okay to feel like crap the whole time when we're riding. And we don't know that there's a whole other world out there when we're fueling the right way because we just think we know what we know, right? I
Yes.
just love that. That was such a really exciting moment when you were just like having that, like not just the ears perking up, but then feeling it happen, right? And I think that when I'm working with riders, it's easy for me to say like, well, you got to do X, Y, and Z, and then repeat it and repeat it. And people like we don't really get it until you are feeling it and learning it kinetically, right? You learn how it feels to feel kind of bad during a ride. And then with my prodding of like, let's try eating 50 grams of carbs an hour, and then let's try 60 an hour and just see where you land, right? And all of a sudden the lights turn on and you're like, I could keep up and push the pace the whole time. Who is this person? So giving yourself that chance like
Yeah.
is so exciting. And then that was the big breakthrough you needed, I think, to really have that continue the big breakthroughs throughout the whole of the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
okay, I love that. That was so
Totally.
just taking it from like I'm not very fit to like, oh, I am really fit. I just needed to fuel better.
Yeah.
I just yeah. And then so what are your favorite snacks on the bike?
You know, I tried the real food thing for a while, and I ended up, I mean, the only real food I take with me now are dates.
Mhm.
I couldn't do the sandwich thing on the ride. I did a couple times early season, and it wasn't sitting well. It was fine sitting inside on my trainer,
Mhm.
but going out on the road, I love dates.
Yeah,
And you know the gels and the yeah, and just these little bars that I eat. I like the Exact products and Huma. They seem to sit well with me, and so I just keep using those. I try other ones sometimes, but they don't sit as well. But yeah, I do try other things just for fun to see how's that going to go.
yeah,
But yeah, I tend to just stick to those. And I'm also now making sure towards the end of the ride, I'm gunning back a gel, even if I'm like, oh, I've only got a half hour to get home. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to, no, eat it. Put it
yeah.
in you. It'll help you on the recovery. And yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, and it really impacts, like, how you recover, not just off the bike, but then, like, what you're eating 3 hours from then, right? It avoids that kind of raiding the kitchen desire that we all get if we're not fueling enough during and right at the end of the ride. That's so smart. I love that. So then tell me about your A race, like, how did it go for you? I guess one thing I really wanted to hear, maybe picking out one story that you brought home with you, it was just, like, kind of exemplifies the whole weekend. I mean, it doesn't have to be one. That's a lot of pressure for one story, but
no, it's
tell us the
okay.
story so adult.
There was so much. Day two, I would say was, I mean, day two and three were crazy. But day two was super interesting just because the terrain was so different within the entire course. My God. The climbing was wild. And it was a lot of it was on loose, rocky gravel.
Yeah.
And I felt really strong. Like I felt so strong. I just kept going up, no problem at all. And we finished some of this climbing, and then we turned off right into what they warned us would be like a jungle. And it literally was a jungle of single track. It was insanity. We're just cruising through all these rocks and dirt and mud, going along, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's this 4 foot drop into
Mhm.
a little riverbed or a little creek. And I will say the first one we came upon, it was just too big to keep riding. We had to get off and walk through glacier, freezing cold water, which was kind of
Oh, yeah.
fun. But the next ones that we came upon, I actually took. I actually went down into them, went out, and like you're coming up at like a 30% grade, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the power and the mental capacity to do this stuff. And I suppose for a mountain biker, they'd say, yeah, that's easy. I know what you're doing. But I've never mountain biked, and I'm on a gravel bike.
Yeah.
So it was that stuff was wild. It was just like I felt like such a badass
Mhm.
after that
Yeah.
ride, and
Yeah.
it made me feel energized and just so yeah, the inner strength just bloomed in me, and it gave me enough capacity to go into stage three, day three, which I knew was gonna be very hard.
Mhm.
But you only wanted me to talk about one.
I know, I know, I know. And speaking of that, I know when we had our pre-race meeting, I was like, we're only going to talk about the first day, and then I'll write. Right? I was like, if we don't have a way to talk, I'm going to write. Like I passed you secret notes, like do not open until
Yeah.
Saturday. But I think that that has such a impact on our mentality going into stage racing because it is so easy to spiral, right? When you're looking at the whole thing, thinking, how in the world am I ever going to finish this? And so, yeah, I know that is so cool. Well, so how I love how you said like inner strength, like blooming or like bursting out of you. But how does that weekend shifted things for you in terms of, well, first of all, how did you finish overall? You got to share, and then how have those results shifted things for you?
Ah, it shifted it. It was like a disbelief almost, to be honest. And it's just made me feel like I can do whatever I want now. Like it's given me that power. And like I said, my whole body just feels strong and capable, right? Like that just to me put the check mark on it, going, yeah, you can. So I actually came in first in my age group.
Yeah,
Um, which the age group started like it was women 50 plus. I did the half pint event, which was enough. Like it was 220K over 3 days and almost 4,000 meters of climbing. But that's sufficient. I had no desire to do the big one, which
yeah.
wasn't that different, honestly, in distance. It was more
What was it?
climbing. No, it really wasn't. It was maybe it might have hit 300K and a little bit more climbing, of course. But anyway, um, yeah, and I was the second woman overall,
Mhm.
even including the youngins. Like, I'm like, how did I beat people in their 20s and 30s? Like, that's insane. So I was very proud of that, super proud
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super excited. So then I guess, how has it changed your everyday life? Like, do you go to work being like, yeah, I am a winner? Like, do you put your little, I know you had a beautiful poster that you won. Are you putting that up anywhere? How are you celebrating?
I will be putting the poster up, and I have shown some people it. Yeah, I've been talking a lot at work about it, and it's so interesting because people go, you should put up a post on LinkedIn about this, and it's quite an accomplishment, which I haven't done because I don't think that makes sense. But or we should include a story about you in our next employee newsletter so everybody can hear about this. Like, people seem to be like inspired by the fact that, someone like me, I'm kind of petite, and a lot of people know I ride, but I don't think they know what I do, the kind of riding I do. So yeah, I think it makes people curious about me and also curious about themselves a little bit. Like it makes people think, oh, I wish I could do something like that, or I want to do something like that. Or one of my employees said to me, well, yeah, when she's a mom right now, like a young mom, and she's like, I can't wait for the day when I can take on that stuff too, and I have time to. It's just nice. It's just yeah, it makes me feel good. If it's motivating a couple of people to take on a challenge as well, I think that's awesome. Yeah.
I love that too. Like adventuring farther is kind of one thing I've just been noodling on. And like, so, I mean, that can mean so much right now in this moment, of getting away from your desk, whatever that means. It's hiking, it's, taking your kids out onto the trail, like whatever that means. But like, I think
Yeah.
for us as women, like meeting the moment, like getting out from behind, I don't know, expectations and really putting yourself and your goals forward, I think is so valuable. I think that's what's inspiring people.
Yeah.
What tell us what other results did you have from coaching together? Anything that pops in your head?
Geez, I think I've talked about a lot of it. I think the some of the training that you had me do involved some 3 and 4 day sessions, right? Out on the bike, doing difficult things. That
Mhm.
was new. I hadn't done like, 3 days of long gravel climbing in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some 7 day bike trips, but they're like, touristy type things where there's challenge, but you're tooling along and you take a break and it's chill. That wasn't what these were.
Mhm.
And going through that was a little scary the first weekend, going, God. But it was fine. Like I felt great, except what you referred to earlier when you talked about my fueling strategies and stuff, right? I realized quickly there and we fixed that. But once that was all resolved, it's like, yeah, I feel strong going through this. Um, it was unfortunate that I had a bit of a crash on day 4 of one of those sessions. I was feeling so strong. That was
Mhm.
Canada Day, July 1st.
Yeah.
And we were out on a day 4 of riding, and I was feeling so strong. I'm like, 4 days of riding in a row, and I feel great. And then, yeah, I ended up touching the wheel of the guy in front of me, dumb,
Mhm.
and fell. And so that was a whole other thing that you and I had to get through, Marissa, was get Donna through a crash, which I
Yeah.
had never done before.
Yeah.
I've never crashed
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So that was a
That,
wild ride, and you were instrumental in getting me through that. Like I wouldn't have thought to keep riding gently. I mean, you guided me appropriately. Like I kept riding inside to keep things moving, keep up my fitness. It all worked out beautifully. And I think it was all of that encouragement, support, and other guidance you gave me that helped me get through that so I could do my event. Like I think my friends that I ride with did not think I'd be doing the event. Like, yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
I agree. Like it was not being there, right? And just hearing it, I was like, "Oh no," So I think having been through so many crashes myself, I know kind of how to like work you through the mechanics of it. But it really was a testament to being able to communicate back and forth. We're using Boxer every day. Like
Yes.
check in, tell me how you're feeling, right? Like there's days where like I can't get out of bed, I'm like don't get on the bike, right? Or there were days like I really want to ride, but my knee hurts. I'm like, well, let's just keep it easy. And I think honestly, it's like the mentality of coming over something such adversity. The mental challenge is almost more than the physical challenge, isn't it? Like, right? You go from we as people who crash, we go from spiraling like that's it, my season's over to like, well, wait a minute, we've got a month. I mean, if things work out, you're probably gonna be fine. But it was touch and go for in my mind for like 2 weeks because I wasn't really sure how physically how things were gonna heal or not, right? So it was it was definitely quite a wild ride. But I was so appreciative of just how great you were at communicating where you were at and how you felt. A lot of people just like retreat, and they get really frustrated with themselves and so it's a great testament to your ability as an athlete to kind of step up and be like, no, I've worked my ass off for this. I think let's see if we can try it. That was super helpful as a
Yes.
coach to be able to coach somebody who was that involved. And I think that's awesome. Well,
Well, and
what
you
would
were
you,
so available too. I mean, you were so available to me through that, which I greatly appreciated.
yeah. Well, I kind of like, we went through all of this work together. I'm like, we got to make this right, like, so, and it's, anyways, my favorite thing is to chat about bikes. So if we can chat on Boxer, it's just the easiest. So I appreciated that. But well, what would you tell, knowing everything you've done this year, like what would you tell someone else who was looking to sign up for coaching or they were worried about the investment in themselves? Like, what would you tell them?
Oh, I would just tell them to don't even think any further, just do it. Like the learning that comes out of it, the accountability that it drives for you as an individual and you as well. You had a vested interest in me and my success, and I felt that. Like it was
Mhm.
genuine, which I really appreciated. And the self-improvement that comes out of it, right? Those are outcomes that give confidence, it gives capability, and you can achieve your goals. Like it's that simple. And I'm making it sound simple. Everybody's got to put effort in. Like as both of us put effort into this, you got to do the workouts. You got to do what we're being told to do. Um, and you knew that wasn't a problem with me. I think I told you when we first started working together, I said, whatever you tell me to do, I will do. And that was almost a warning to go, don't kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I have something in my schedule to do, I'm going to do it come hell or high water, or I'm going to reach out on Voxer crying or texting going, I don't feel good. I can't do it.
Exactly. But it was also like there were some trying times, where like, "You want me to do what? I have to rest?"
Yeah,
I
the
remember,
resting.
yeah, the
Yeah.
first month, you're like, "But all my friends are riding." I'm like, "Well, you can ride, but it has to be easy." And that took a little getting used to, like that having faith in the new training program. As we wrap it up, having faith, like, how did that work for you? And that if you even remember those first couple of months of training your old way to then trying something new, and
Yes.
it does require some faith and some
It
blind
required some
going.
faith. Yeah,
Yeah.
on two levels. Like one was I was just so used to how I worked out and how I trained myself, and what you were giving me seemed way too easy. But I had faith. I had faith, and I knew we had lots of time. And what I learned out of that, Marissa, was I was not balanced as a
Mhm,
cyclist.
mhm,
and you got me balanced. Like all of that base building you and I did together. I'm thinking, this is really easy. Why am I doing this? I could do this 4 times. But it all had huge benefit in making sure that all my backside, parts, the glutes, the hams, all of that stuff, the core was ready to put me on a bike outside and feel different about how I ride. Like I wasn't a big bouncer on my bike, but I bounced a bit. And I
Mhm.
just figured it's because I'm tiny. I'm tiny. I'm gonna bounce around. But now I'm solid. Like I am
Mhm.
solid on the bike. Like I'm not bouncing around anymore. It's all legs. Like I have the core strength. I have the backside strength. So yes, I had faith that you were gonna reorient my body in a positive way to make me an awesome cyclist. I
Yeah.
was a good cyclist before, but now I feel like I'm awesome and I can pretty much do anything now, which is super cool. And if I have a moment,
Yeah.
one thing that was really cool about all this was in the beginning of the season when we got out on the road. I ride with a bunch of guys. Like it's just me and a bunch of guys. I'll tell you, there was some shocking moments as I was either keeping up with them easily or even going by some of them. It was funny. A couple of times I'd go by and you'd get this look like, and then they speed up like they don't want me passing them, but I felt it. And a lot of them were paying attention, going, okay, I guess her coaching is working. And they'd ask me about it, because we're on Discord when we're on Zwift together talking. And they're like, oh, so what are you doing? And I'd explain. And they're like, oh, that sounds kind of weird. Or they'd have a comment about it. And it's like, yeah, well, look who's laughing now, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
so exciting to just see it
Yeah.
all pay off in the right way. I
Yeah.
remember that first day that you rode outside and you were like, I've never felt like this before outside. What is going on? So it is kind of that like payback of having faith and then getting to ride outside. And you all had the worst winter, at least that I have lived through in the last, love coaching people in the last 10 years. So it was a long time before you got to ride free and clear outside. So it was really exciting to be able to see that payoff and feel, have you feel how it's paying off. And then comparing it, like, not that we want to compare people, but being, from old you in the group to now who you are now in the group, right?
I'm a much stronger rider and they all see it and appreciate it too, right? Because they're not waiting. It's not
Mhm.
like I made them wait for me a lot before, but there were times we come up hills and I'd be way back. And now
Mhm.
I'm not way back. I'm either with them or not far behind. I mean, they are
Yeah.
men, let's be fair. My husband's a very strong cyclist and I can't keep up with him on climbs, but I'm much closer now
Mhm.
to them at most times now. And it's amazing. And there's usually somebody else is straggling behind. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So awesome. Well,
Yay.
I am just so thrilled to hear like from you exactly kind of how it all went down on your end and just, I don't know, celebrate like winning your big goal event. Like not everybody gets to say that. So I think that that is
Yeah.
a huge testament to all the work that you put in the off season. And from my point of view, as a coach who, I refuse to make people ride in the ring because I don't think it's safe around, like trucks and cars. So being indoors and then being pushed indoors even into late into April, right? Like that mentally is so mentally sucking, right? So the fact that you not only did it but thrived, probably partly because of your amazing group, right? But then a lot of people would give up, right? They'd be like, I'm just going to half ass it until I can ride outside. And you didn't. And like, look at the payoff, and then you get to show up at work and just everyone's asking you how you did it, what you did. It's a big deal. So massive congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see and hear about what you're going to do next year. I'm sure it's going to be a big, exciting event.
No, we haven't given it any thought yet. Like we're gonna have to talk as a group. Yeah, we usually do things together. So, but I would suspect over the next month we'll be shaking something out. Yeah, making some determinations.
I
I
love
was
it.
looking at what's the hardest gravel race in the world. This is one in Kenya, I think, and then one in Iceland. And I'm like, I don't think we want to do those.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe road. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I was thinking like the migration gravel race. Is that what you're
Yeah,
thinking?
that's the one. That's the one. I couldn't think of the name. Can you imagine trying
The
that?
one in Iceland is called the Rift, I
The
think.
Rift. Yeah,
They
that's
both
right.
look equal parts really hard. So, but amazing. I mean, I definitely bucket list migration. Like you get to ride through a game reserves. You've got zebras and giraffes and yeah, that would just be amazing. But anyways, Planting little seeds. Well, we'll wrap it up there. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome. And thank you for everything you've done for me.
Absolutely. That's why I love to do what I love getting to do what I do. To help.
It shows. It shows.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Have a beautiful rest of your week.
You too.